Hello everyone, my name is Gautam Hari. In today's session, I'll be speaking about AWS Elastic Beanstalk service. So, what is an Elastic Beanstalk? It is an AWS managed service for web applications. It is a pre-configured EC2 server that can directly take up your application code and environment configurations and use it to automatically provision and deploy the required resources within AWS to run the web application. Unlike EC2, which is an infrastructure as a service, Elastic Beanstalk is a platform as a service, as it allows users to directly use a pre-configured server for their application. Of course, you can deploy applications without ever having to use Elastic Beanstalk, but that would mean having to choose the appropriate service from the vast array of services offered by the AWS. Manually provisioning these AWS resources and stitching them up together to form a complete web application. Elastic Beanstalk abstracts the underlying configuration work and allows you as a user to focus on more important matters. So this raises a concern that if Elastic Beanstalk configures most of the resources itself and abstracts the underlying details, can developers change the configuration if needed? The answer will be yes. Elastic Beanstalk is provided to make application deployment simpler, but at no level will it restrict the developers from changing any configurations. So, how does Elastic Beanstalk works? As it is a fully managed service provided by AWS that makes it easy to deploy and manage applications in the cloud without worrying about the underlying infrastructure. First, create an application and select an environment, and then configure the environment and then deploy the application. Some of the features are Elastic Beanstalk offers a pre-configured runtime-like environments and development tools, which makes it easy to deploy our application. Second, it supports numerous platforms and programming languages like Go, Python, Java, etc. Elastic Beanstalk scales your application automatically when the demand increases with the help of auto-scaling rules. Elastic, Bean, Elastic Beanstalk can integrate with databases such as MySQL, Oracle, and Microsoft SQL Server. Access control via AWS Identity and Access Management and built-in security features like SSL TLS encryption are provided by the Elastic Beanstalk. Some of the supported platforms are Go, Java, Node, PHP, Python, Ruby, and some of the application service provided by the Elastic Beanstalk are Tomcat and Docker. So, some of the important components that should be focused on are application. Elastic Beanstalk directly takes in your project code. So, Elastic Beanstalk application is named the same as your product home directory. Isolation. All environments within a single application are isolated from each other, independent of each other's running states. And needless to say, two different applications are also isolated. Scalability. Using autoscaling within Elastic Beanstalk makes the applications dynamically scalable. Language support. All the web requests to the applications are not directly related to application instances. They first hit the Elastic Load Balancer, which, as the name suggests, balances the load across all the application instances. Language support. Elastic Beanstalk supports the applications developed with Java, NAT, PHP, Node, Python, Ruby, and Go on familiar services servers such as Apache, Nginx, Passenger, and IIS. Elastic load balancing. All the web requests to the application are not directly related to application instances. They first hit the Elastic load balancer, which, as the name suggests, balances the load across all the application instances. Pricing. There is no extra charge for using Elastic Beanstalk. Users are only required to pay for the services and the resources provisioned by Elastic Beanstalk service. Automatic provisioning. Elastic Beanstalk takes away the burden of choosing the right services and configuring their security groups to work together. Impossible to outgrow. AWS claims that since Elastic Beanstalk uses the auto scaling feature, it can, in theory, handle any amount of internet traffic. Application environments. Users may want their application to run on different environments like dev, UAT, and prod. You can create and configure different environments to run applications on different stages. Environment health. One of the most lucrative features of running applications on AWS or most of the other platforms is automated health checks. AWS runs automatic health checks on all EC2 deployments, which can be monitored from the AWS console. For example, in case of web applications, AWS will regularly, as scheduled by the developers, ping the application to check if the response is status code 200 and if the application is running as expected. Some of the health check responses are red, the application failed all health tests. And if it is yellow, the application failed some of the health tests. And if it is gray, the application is updating. And if it is green, the application passed the health checks successfully. So this will be for the today's session. Thank you.